One thing that's super important that I can't stress greatly enough, because this will kill your whole project dead on arrival, is making sure that for the last 6 months, we've spent some time just shopping around, being on Instagram, checking out everything that's out there. Some very inspirational projects out there. There's also tiny homes gone wrong where people pick the wrong builder or they try to do it themselves. Even though we felt like, yes, we could probably build them, we certainly felt more like we wanted to find a contractor or find a builder that we like the aesthetic, we like the build, we like the quality. And for us, just getting this property up and running, having the carrying cost of a mortgage already headed into wintertime, for us it was important to try to partner with someone we thought would be a good fit for us. They would be willing to work with us and be able to provide something that could help us get permitted, help us get approved with the city, and provide obviously a great aesthetic to the look we're looking for and the kind of guests that we're hoping to cater to. We flew out and we met with some builders in Denver, we met with some builders in Oregon. Actually really liked a builder called Modern Tiny or Tiny Modern, I don't remember which name it is. Found them on Instagram. It was interesting because we really liked them, sent them 6 or 7 messages, 2 or 3 phone calls, never got them to pick up, never got us to return an email, so obviously we moved on. Our ultimate partner that we chose to go with was a company called Drop Structures out of Canada, 2.5 hours south of Calgary, and it's actually only 11 hours from Idaho City where these properties will ultimately be shipped to. And that's where we met Corey, our sales guy, and Connor, the owner, and they basically took us through a walkthrough of everything they're building, a Holo Plus, which is the design that we're going with. And these guys have been super busy. They're building several different models. We went with 5 Holo Pluses. So the Holo Pluses will be basically the main body of what we're using. And then we also went with a Duo Plus, which is their very largest floor plan. The reason we went through the Duo Plus is because they worked with us in the beginning and they worked with us to get everything we needed to get to the city for permitting. One big plus, and the reason we did buy this property, is because it was zoned commercial. It opens a lot of doors as far as permitting. It gives you a lot more uses. Single family, usually just one house. So the commercial part made it much, much easier to get permitted. And in going through that process and working with Rich at the building division at Idaho City, we found out we had to have at least one ADA compliant unit, which was great, no problem. Didn't know that was a guideline, but I think it's great it is, and that's a commercial guideline. So we chose the Duo, and the Duo is all one level. There's no loft bedroom like the Holo Plus, and the doorways for the bathroom and the front entry are wide enough for a wheelchair, but they'll plug into our sewer, they'll plug into electric, they'll have each their own separate unit, just like the manufactured homes that were there had. So one thing that's super important that I can't stress, greatly enough, because this will kill your whole project dead on arrival, is making sure that you're working with a builder that understands your zoning requirements. A lot of times, a lot of builders didn't want to know anything about what we were trying to do, where they were going, what it looked like. It was just basically, this is what we build, take it, you deal with whatever you want to deal with. Whereas the guys at Drop knew exactly how important it was for us that we couldn't just enter into some agreement without knowing for sure whether or not they were going to be permitted or not. And fortunately, they're very flexible, and they have 3 different ways basically to mount your unit. And it doesn't come on wheels, right? So it's coming as a flat structure on a flatbed, and you could choose to either have a cement slab where it's graded and it's just a big concrete pad where it sits on top. You could choose what's called a helical screw pile, which is actually like a screw that kind of anchors into the ground, or a sinus tube, which a sinus tube is more like a concrete post. It's like a pier, kind of just a round cylinder. And we chose that route because it was cost effective. The building division had no problem with us using that as our foundation point. And we also wanted it elevated because there is a creek that runs through the property. By nature, having any body of water run through your property usually designates it as some type of flood zone, which we are in a flood zone. It hasn't flooded for 50 years, so knock on wood, it won't flood again. But by raising that up, obviously it helps mitigate some of that risk by putting it up there. It came in right around 600 and some change. I want to say 630, 640, that included delivery. And then as we go through this final process where we make the payments, 3 different payments staged out over the course of the project, what we'll do at the end is we'll fly up, we'll kind of figure out the final fit and finishes. We are considering looking at some smart glass technology where basically the windows are clear, you hit a button, they go frost. That way we don't have to use blinds, just kind of going with a minimalist aesthetic. So we'll kind of, map out those things as we go through the next 6 months and wait for these to be finalized and built. If all goes well, knock on wood, we should be up and running by early, I'm thinking March, April will be kind of our soft opening where we can, just kind of test these out and have some guests there and give them a discounted rate and just kind of see how these all operate. And from there we're gonna rock and roll. We'll keep you up to date as this project progresses, and really looking forward to building out this village. Next in the series, I'm gonna be unveiling the renders for these tiny spaces and the demolition of this RV park. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and get notified of the next part in this series.